Hey guys, this is Casey Foster from Netcode Illuminati. I'm going to be doing a aiming article here. A lot of people have been asking how to improve their aim, and it's just something that you can't really teach somebody. It's something that they have to learn on their own. But if they have the right techniques and methods while they're playing on their own and thinking about these things, it'll be a lot better or a lot efficient for them to improve their aim. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Deathmatching. Deathmatching is by far the best way to just improve your aim, improve your strafe peeking, improve your pre-aiming, improve your fragability of just owning people, around the maps, and just, building muscle memory. Muscle memory is probably the most important thing to just developing your aim, and, being able to just strafe peek or move your crosshair to that person's head is all muscle memory, and it's all just based off of consistency. A lot of the things in Counter-Strike are, just being consistent and being able to move your crosshair to that person's head faster than they can do it. So, the first thing I want to go over is pre-aiming. Pre-aiming is probably the easiest and best thing that you can do to improving your aim. You want to always pre-aim things, because if you don't pre-aim, then you always rely on flick shots, and flick shots are random. It's not that they're random, it's just that they're inconsistent, and the number that you hit, the amount of times that you hit a flick shot versus the amount of times you don't hit a flick shot, the times that you don't hit it outweighs the you hitting a number. Some people are better at it than others, and it's not because they practice it, it's just that they've got higher sensitivities, they're used to doing it more, just stupid shit. So anyway, I'm going to explain pre-aiming. As you can see in this deathmatch, I basically pre-aim everything when I come around corners. I'm always putting my crosshair where I think they're going to be, which is a very, good thing to do. Everybody does it, because it wards you away from flick shotting. So you'll always see me coming around corners with my crosshair, where I think they're going to be, or where potentially they could have been, just like that. I was staring at that guy through the wall, but even though it was my teammate, I was still putting my crosshair where there was going to be somebody. So, just pre-aiming, putting your crosshair, coming around corners, I'm thinking there's going to be, I saw this guy already, so I can pre-aim him, and he was able to run into my crosshair, but sometimes you do have to rely on a flick shot, and that's just where, your aim comes into play of, flick shotting. But the more that you can pre-aim, the more efficient your, shooting and aiming and bursting will be. So keep that in mind while playing, and the more that you do it, the more you'll get into a habit of pre-aiming things, and, the better you'll be. The next I'm going to go over is, people ask, how do I shoot if there's somebody really far away? Well, everybody's aim is different. Some people have better aim. Some people are better aim at one-tapping. People like Experience. He was on our team. That's all he did was just one-tap people. But there were also situations where one-tapping is not the most efficient thing to do. So you need to be able to tap, you need to be able to burst, and you need to be able to spray. And it all comes down, it's all situational. Like right there I needed to spray because he was up in my face. This guy's pretty much AFK, so I could take my time bursting him. For situations where people are really far, all the way across long, like right here, I would usually try and one tap or two burst people to, kill people. Like this guy, right? Not him, but this guy up here, I would one tap him. So it's just all situational things. If people aren't looking at you, you can take your time to kill them. Although you don't want to take too long and have them, like this guy, I hit him in the back and he turns around and he was, had a chance to shoot at me, but I still killed him. But you don't, it's just all situational things. So you need to be able to, know when, what shooting method you need to use in what situation. That was pretty fast. That was kind of like a flick shot because I didn't know that guy was going to be there. But you need to know when to do what type of shooting. The next thing I'm gonna go over that's important in just, you know, improving your aim, because you never want to be shooting at more than one person at a time. It's the same thing in a match. You never want to be shooting at 3 people at one time. You should always be able to position yourself to 1v1 people, because 1v1ing, you have the highest chance of killing the person. When you're 2v1ing people, you know, you're rarely going to kill both of them. If you're going to kill one, then you might damage the next, or you might kill one and then get the trade kill. But what I like to do in deathmatching to keep myself at a fair, you know, game is to just always 1v1 people. If you can strafe behind something as cover to 1v1 the next guy, then, you know, that's what you need to do. So that's like another important thing. The next thing I'm gonna talk about is the amount of the length of time that you're deathmatching. It's very crucial to not over deathmatch. You never want to deathmatch for like 600 kills. Like, the maximum amount of kills I would recommend doing would be, you know, maybe 100. You should really like, your brain stops learning. That's why classes, college classes, high school classes are all 45 minutes to 55 minutes, because your brain stops learning after 45 minutes. So I can't emphasize enough how important it is to just not over deathmatch or overplay Counter-Strike. Like, people play, you know, 4 or 5 scrims in a row, and it's really just a waste of time because you stop learning. So I recommend, you know, playing for 100 kills, which should usually take you about 30 minutes. Like, I've gotten 37 kills, and I've been in here for 7 minutes, so that's about 5 kills a minute, which is not very good. Well, actually, no, at 10 minutes I should have 50 kills. So anyway, you know, you never want to over deathmatch, and you want to take breaks before deathmatching. Like, when I was getting good, when I was developing my aim, like after I quit Counter-Strike and I came back to play Source, that's all I did was just deathmatch. I sat out like Season 1 and Season 2 of Cal. When Source came to Cal, all I did was just deathmatch. So it's a lot of people do it as well. FlashStep did it. You know, he took off a season and, you know, just went to deathmatching in the netcode DM and just got his aim really good. And with good aim, you're able to, you know, get on good teams because you can frag. Even though you might not be the smartest player, but you might have good aim and good positioning, and it makes up for not having the greatest brains, you know, greatest in-game sense. So, you know, deathmatching for 45, 30 minutes at a time is really the best thing that you can do. And make sure that you take breaks between them. Another thing that you need to think about while deathmatching or while playing Counter-Strike in general is you never want to make the same mistake twice. Like, if you ever die, you know, you need to think about, oh, what could I have done differently to have lived in that situation, or had a better, or have a better chance of killing that guy. Even though sometimes you spawn in death matches or in game and you just were totally surprised by there being 2 people there instead of 1, and you really had no chance, you know, it happens. It's a video game. But there's always something else that you could have done differently to have bettered your chances to living or getting a kill. And as long as you're thinking about that while deathmatching and while playing Counter-Strike, you know, as long as you have a mental note of that, it will better you for the future. So, you know, even while deathmatching, you know, thinking about, oh, what could I have done differently, you know, to kill that guy? Like right there, you know, I should have peeked out a little bit earlier after that guy's shot. I should have peeked out right after he shot his op, because then he's most vulnerable. And you know, that could have bettered my chances for killing that guy, even though I ended up killing him anyway. But right there, I waited out that guy. As soon as I heard him start reloading his op, you know, I knew I could peek him. So that's like another thing is, you know, make sure you never make the same mistake twice, or at least try not to. The next thing I'm gonna go over is strafe peeking. In this game, if you're shooting versus a rifler, the peeker usually has the advantage. I'll go over this thing later called the left eye peek, which like a lot of people don't know about, but it's a good tool to know. It's kind of a bug in the game, but everybody has it, so it's not really a bug, and people do it on accident. So anyway, I'm gonna go over strafe peeking. I always try and strafe peek things because I'm really good at it, and most good riflers that can just strafe out and just one-tap people are usually just good at or just those people that are good at strafe peeking, usually impact fraggers. So what I'll try to do is, you know, first I'm pre-aiming them, and I'll always strafe out, you know, from behind a wall to shoot at them, because there's this thing called a left eye peek where you have the advantage. You can see them before they can see you. So whenever you see me, you know, come around corners, I'm always pre-aiming on top of strafe peeking, because I'll be able to kill them before they can kill me, as long as I, you know, am on target. So always try to strafe peek. You know, I know there's a guy in spawn because he just offed somebody, but he's dead. So, you know, it's just pre-aiming people and then strafe peeking around corners, and you know, you just put all these tools into your toolbox, you know, and you'll definitely pick up some points. The whole thing about deathmatching and why it's the best way to improve your aim is because you're put into the most gunfire situations possible. You know, I've been playing now for in this server for 11 minutes, so this is gonna be like a 12-minute video, but you know, I've got 60 deaths and 60 kills, 34 deaths, so it's a little less than a 2-to-1, so that's 90 gun situations in 11 minutes. In one match, you probably come into, I'd say, 30 gunfights, and you're in a match for, what, 45 minutes? So a death match, you know, definitely ups your gunfight instances by a lot. Even though a Dust 2 deathmatch is relatively high, there are higher ones, like our other aim map servers, which are aim, you know, rifle servers and aim pistol servers. On aim maps, you basically spawn right in front of the people, so you're able to get the most amount of, you know, gunfight battles in the shortest amount of time. But the only disadvantage, or, you know, drawback to playing in those aim map servers is you're only moving your mouse like this much. You know, you're never spinning around, you're never strafing behind things, you're just moving your mouse from like here to here because they're right in front of you. So it gets your muscle memory better, and it puts you in the most amount of instances, but you're not moving, you're not strafe peeking angles, you're not 1v1ing people, but it's just something that I do a little bit of each. You know, I'll do a little bit of the rifle server, and then I'll come in the Dust. I'll go in there to warm up, and then I'll go in the Dust 2 server to, you know, to work on my aim. You know, and people always think that that just because someone's pro, they don't need help at all. That's complete bullshit. Even like the top players in the game need help with their game. Everyone can learn something. So anyway, the next thing we'll go over is positioning. That is something that a lot of players, like Remix, you know, he doesn't have the best of aim, Chewbacca doesn't have the best of aim, but they've got good positioning, and they can hang at you know, the level with the rest of the pros in the game. You know, Remix and Chewbacca were both, you know, top players in the game, and were able to rely on their positioning to kill people. You know, they have, you know, of course their aim wasn't dog shit, you know, they weren't absolutely terrible, but their aim wasn't the best. You know, their aim wasn't as good as, like, say, someone like Fam or me, or, you know, Experience or something, but they relied on their good positioning to be able to frag people. So it's just another good thing you can, like when I'm deathmatching on Dust 2, if I'm really trying to, you know, get a good score, or you know, just you know, frag people, I'll hold a spot. You know, I'll play like lower B, or I'll hold cat, and I'll position myself in those spots, because you can 1v1 everybody. Like, you will never get rushed on cat by 4 people because it's a deathmatch, but it's a deathmatch, so it's kind of gay to do that. But anyway, that's kind of, you know, I'll hold a spot, and I'll just get good at holding those spots. And I'll learn the positioning, I'll learn what angles work, I'll learn where I can peek from, I'll learn when to peek, you know, based off radar, based off sounds, based off shooting, you know, where I know I have the advantages at. So you know, that's another thing that works in matches as well, is just positioning yourself well, which you can learn from the Netcode Premium videos. Is you can see where all of the pros are positioning themselves in matches, and if you've noticed throughout the matches commentaries that you've watched, is that all the pros basically play in the same spots. It's because the same spots are the best spots to play in the game, and there's just really, like, only so many things that actually work in this game, you know, that work on a consistent basis. You know, it's, oh wow, that was terrible. Anyway, you know, you wanna use those spots that the pros are playing in, because it's just what works, and that's just all there is to it. And all you do is just steal the pros' positioning and, you know, put it into your game, and, you know, you'll be a better player. So basically, those few things, I'll do a little recap. I actually have them written down, so I knew what to talk about. First thing was pre-aiming. You always want to pre-aim people while strafe peeking them. Shooting, you need to figure out which shooting techniques to use for different situations, as you can't use the same ones every time. You always want to try and position yourself to 1v1 people. Again, that's relying on positioning. Never deathmatch too long. I'd say 45 minutes is the tops. You always want to think about the mistakes that you made and where you can, go differently, what you could have done differently to better yourself. Again, strafe peeking is, kind of works itself in with pre-aiming. I always try to strafe peek people as you have an advantage. And gunfights, don't really pub, don't just go in a pub and pub. You need to go into a deathmatch so then you can just get into the most amount of gunfight situations. Netcode Illuminati, we've got a bunch of good servers. And positioning is another thing that I talked about as well. So with those key points in your game, in your tool bag, of tools, you will be able to improve your game. What I'm going to talk about now are some screenshots, just 2 screenshots that I've taken to explain the left eye peek thing. I'm going to alt-tab and go to my Counter-Strike folder right now so I can look at the screenshots. Basically, the game was made somehow to where the game, if you're peeking from the left side, you have an advantage. If your shoulder your left shoulder is showing first, you're going to see them before they see you. So in these screenshots, you'll see this one right here of Reality Robbie. I have him standing at the other end of ramp on Nuke, basically from Turnpike to the other T side of the Turnpike where the T's come out. This first screenshot is from CT side, and I have an op, and I've lined up the walls. So basically, the walls are standing perfectly, and I have my crosshair right in the middle, so half my body is showing. And I had him do the exact same thing. So on our screen right now, you can see that I can see half of his body, but I cannot see his head. And on the next screenshot, you'll see this is him doing the exact same thing. He's lined up the wall to where it's both, the walls matched up the wall, and then the crosshair is right in the middle, and half of his body is showing. But as you can see on his screen, my whole entire body is showing, my whole left side of my body. This is it's because he has a left eye peek. It's because he has a left eye peek, and I've got a right eye peek. So this is a bug in the game, but not really a bug. It's just the way the game works, or the way the game is. So basically, any time where your left shoulder is going to be coming around a corner, and you're going to be seeing them first. So if you add this tool to your tool bag as well, of things that you can think about while playing the game, to where you know that you can stand behind a wall and strafe peek out to the left, you're going to see the person before they see you. So it's just another cool thing that's in the game that some people don't know about. Actually, a lot of people don't know about, that you guys will all know about now. That you will majorly improve your game, because if you can position yourself to where your left shoulder will always be peeking out, say it's on Dust 2 and you're behind the box in B site, and your left shoulder is going to be the side that you're peeking out of, you're going to have the advantage. You're going to be able to see them before they see you. And you just add this to your your toolkit, and when you're playing, always position yourself to where your left shoulder is going to be peeking out first. You're going to have the advantage. So simple as that. So add these, try these things out, give it a go. And if there's anything else that I did not cover that you guys have questions about as far as improving your aim, let me know and I'll make a video about it. I'm really, I finally got tired of people just saying, I need to improve my aim. It's not something that I can do, but actually it is. I can legitimately help you improve your aim. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video for about 20 minutes now. So if you guys did not watch I feel sorry for the people that did not watch the rest of this video, because the last thing is probably the most badass thing in this whole entire video. So anyway, this is Casey with Netcode Illuminati, and signing out here. Thanks.